hang on while we play something, so go.
Hello everyone, my name is Olushola Omekunle, a level 1 year. I'm based in the UK. TIP has been a wonderful experience for me. Before I joined TIP, I also have a struggle with my first daughter in the sense that we brought her up using screen, to do a lot of teachings and everything with her. And so she gets used to it and gradually it becomes so difficult for her that she can't do anything without watching screen, and when you try to take the screen, either the devices that she's using at that time or try to turn out the TV, she threw tantrums and she started screaming and fighting. And we know that there's something wrong, but we don't have the right skills to do what we need to do to be able to help her. And one of the days, I met a senior friend and she introduced me to TIP. If I have heard about TIP, I said no, and she said, oh, I should join the program and I would like it. And boom, and that's how I started, and I got myself into TIP, got myself into the inner circle, and we begin to have a lot of teachings that help parents, to guide their children, build up the structures for their family, and I've never regretted it. And one of the things we did that time was that we now try to create a lot of plans, playing moments with the kids, coloring, playing with puzzle to shift the focus away from using the screen to developing herself and learning through other means. And by that time, gradually, and she started, getting off the screen, reducing the time thing, and the tantrum stops, and the every challenges that goes with the screen reduce and stop at the moment. And by now she is okay. She's hardly even doesn't focus on trying to get the screen. And another thing that I learned in therapy and that is encouraging for me is how to connect with my children and how to be able to work with them intelligently and manage my emotions. I can't forget the course emotional intelligence. We have kids and the way they behave sometimes to express themselves because they are kids is challenging, and because we don't understand them as parents, we think that the children are just there to disturb us and all that. Also through therapy, I was able to have the right skills and knowledge to handle the kids if they're expressing their emotions in a way that feels challenging. I'm able to connect with them, I'm able to be patient with them, I'm able to get to understand what they really need, and a lot of things I can talk about and that TIP has done for us. So if you're not in TIP yet, I will encourage you to join TIP and you will never regret doing so. Thank you.
Yes, we are live. If you're not in TIP yet, I will encourage you to join the TIP. That was Yada, our father Yadas. And yes, welcome again, amazing parents all over the world, our Yadas and the intentional leaders. Welcome again on my intentional parenting journey. And if you're just joining us, welcome to my intentional parenting journey as well. This is the space where we celebrate parenting as a calling, as a journey, and as a chance to shape legacies all over the world, legacies that last, legacies that speak. It's always a pleasure to be here myself. And I want to take this opportunity, I want to use this moment to appreciate you, Coach Wendy, for giving me this opportunity, ma. I celebrate and honor you, ma. I really appreciate you letting me be on the space, ma. I really will not take it for granted. While we setting in my amazing parents who are joining us, who are just coming in, please go ahead, hit that share button, spread that news. Let everyone you know, let them know that we are live. Tag them, your accountability partner. Invite your friends. Let them know it is that time to come grab their morning takeaway. It is that time every morning where we tune in, where we click in to get our morning deliverance. Yes, it is that time again. Now, today, we have an extraordinary guest. You can see She's shining from the other end. Ma'am, welcome to the studio. Welcome to the building, Dr.
Thank
Ufuoma Nwachukwu. She's the CEO of Divine Love Eye Care. She's the founder of True Love Club International, and she's the Marriage Foundation Academy. And she's someone whose life have been deeply, deeply transformed through the Inner Circle program, both personally and professionally. Dr. Ufoma, it is such a joy to have you here today with us. Welcome, ma'am, to this conversation. While we
thank
jump in, ma'am, I would want to say we really appreciate you being here. And I would want to start from the beginning. I want to know, ma, what inspired you to join the Inner Circle program? No, scratch that. The Intentional Parents Academy Inner Circle program. What inspired you to join us here? And what was the first impression you had when you stepped into the program, when you stepped into the yard? Over to you, ma. The mic is all yours. Thank you, ma.
good morning, Coach. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mama Cathedral, for this privilege. I'm most privileged to be here to share my testimony. You know, the Bible says that when you share your testimony, it becomes established. So it is actually for our own good. I want to greet everyone this morning, level 2 yarders, Enugu yard people, my power circle. Good morning. So, how did I get to know about the Inner Circle program? Around COVID-19 season, but that should be like 2020, a friend of mine, Ugone Chukwu, sent me a link. It was about a program that was to be hosted on YouTube. The guest speaker was Celia. So when she sent me the link, I looked at the host. I was asking her, who is this person? So she was like, she sounded like, you mean you don't know Coach Wendy? So I was like, okay, who is she? She said, okay, check her out on social media platforms. So I went to Facebook, went through her page, and I was like, wow, this is somebody that needs to be followed. So I joined the WhatsApp group. And then finally, we had the session where Celia Kipler came with so much liquid knowledge that I had never heard before about how to parent with calm. Meanwhile, my own parenting was the yaya type of parenting. So I was like, okay, so this is a place, this is somebody to be followed, because I didn't even know at that time that the Inner Circle was a structured program to be. So I was listening to Tuesday Lives, as much opportunity I had to follow Coach Wendy, I was following her. And then most often I would hear her say, this morning I was talking to Inner Circle, those in the Inner Circle. But in my mind, the picture I had about the Inner Circle was what we call today as the faculty members. So I felt the Inner Circle were her team, her group that she plans with and executes whatever it is with. So I saw them as the inner caucus. I didn't know it was a platform like this. So I just said, okay, so that's not the place for me now. Let me be following the one I know. Until one of those days, this my friend, Ugone, now said she was in the Inner Circle. I just looked at her with one kind of surprise, like you are in Coach Wendy's inner caucus. You are in her inner circle. How did you get there? That kind of stuff. So she was like, so that was how she now explained to me that it was a platform for parents where they are taught how to parent. I was like, wow, so what am I still doing here? So she told me how to go about it. And in December 2021, I was able to join the yard. And what I can say is no going back.
Thank you so much, Ma. You know, it's always inspiring to see someone who would just see growth and love, just love to invest in it. Even at your seasons of life, depending where you are, when you just see it, it's just so inspiring. I mean, it's one thing for you to say, and somebody called you and say, come and join. Somebody has to force you, somebody had to persuade you. But it's always so inspiring when you see someone who sees it and say, this is for me, and you just clicked in. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you. That was so powerful. I mean, you are here to stay. That was it for me. I love that. I love the end of that speech. That's the line I love. Ma, please, I want to know, since you being in the inner circle, since joining the inner circle program, what has changed the most for you in your mindset, in your relationship with your husband, your approach to your parenting, and how you relate with your children so far. What is that spices for you, ma? Over to you, ma.
Okay. So a lot has changed. In fact, there's a way I faced what I'm going to talk about, how it has changed me, changed my marriage, changed everything about me. One of the major things that struck me when I came to the inner circle was the superior knowledge. So I thought I knew so much, okay, of course, and I read. I had always loved to read, get extra knowledge. So I thought I knew so much, but when I came into the circle, just like Professor Chris would say, that everything, all your knowledge will be turned to pottles, as if you don't even know anything. So I came in and the knowledge was more like extraordinary. And starting with me, the first thing that hit me was the issue of discipline. So I used to not just flog. I had different sizes of cane for my children. There was actually a day I went to buy cane. A lady saw me and was like, is this for a human being or for a goat? I said, just stay there and be watching. So I was that kind of brutal mother that would beat. When I'm tired of using the cane, I would drop the cane and I would use my hands to beat. Then I was coming into inner circle and I was being told that you parent with calm, that you can do without the cane. So one of those first things that happened to me was that I just removed the cane from my parenting. And personally too, I was that kind of person that I used to have this fear that if the trumpet sounds, I might miss heaven because of anger. So, and I always felt that there was nothing I could do about it. So I would just pray that God should help me. God should help me. And then I came into inner circle and coach said, your children do not make you yell. You are the reason why you yell and you are the solution. So it turned everything back to me, like it is you. And that automatically gave me the power. Somehow I just saw myself being empowered to overcome this thing that has been more like a threat to my faith. Like, so I can actually control my emotions. So the topic of emotional intelligence was not one of those topics I was used to. But that was one major topic that transformed my parenting. Like coach will say, that is a foundation for you to parent right. You have to be able to manage your emotions. So it is in the inner circle I started learning about what it means to be self-aware, what your triggers are, how to identify your triggers, how to know the root of the anger, how to even trace it to understand that this thing must be coming from somewhere, these feelings that I have. It was then I started learning what is emotional vocabulary, because she said, if you cannot name it, you cannot tame it. So one of those things I learned at the beginning was I had to get my dictionary with my children. We started studying word for word, different kind of emotions. Because in those days, almost everything is anger. You are upset, you are anxious, everything, all of them is anger. Okay, so from the teachings in the inner circle, we're able to start learning, okay, what are the different definitions, the different kind of emotions, and how to understand yourself and handle it. So the inner circle has affected me in every way. Okay, so I got married and of course I had an idea. This is the kind of family I want. But I didn't know you should take your family as a business. I know that businesses write mission statements, vision statements, but I never knew that it should apply to the family. So it was in the inner circle I started hearing about your vision statement, your mission statement, and I was like, wow. So the inner circle has helped me to be more intentional. And with teachings I've had in the inner circle, I had to step it up, not just writing our family values, but creating our family constitution. So this is a book that says the Nwachukwu Kingsley Royal Dynasty, Family Constitution and Curriculums, because these teachings, we have to hand them over. It is our legacy. So over time, I had to compile this because I listened to one of the sessions by Barrister Taiwo when he talked about curriculums, and he said that whenever he wants to teach his children anything, he develops a curriculum for it. I was like, wow. So even the values, the family values, I had to take them one by one and develop a curriculum for it. So part of the constitution, apart from the step by step on how to internalize those values, all the things we are taught in Indian Circle are all compiled here. So topics like media plan is compiled here, strategies for discipline that works. We were asked to draw up a social roadmap. They are all compiled here. Building social skills and social intelligence, the family communication culture. So whenever we do a topic, we do a webinar and we are asked, okay, go and develop this. I put it down and all of them are compiled here. The family conflict resolution plan, the negotiation protocol, the sex conversation plan, the dressing policy, body safety plan, family safety plan, sibling mentorship plan, husband in training, wife in training. Because these children, there shall be no anyhowness. So I'm going to be it's already a springboard. The parenting advantage. And the idea is, this is the first edition of this constitution. So by the time my eldest daughter, who is now 16, turns 18 and she's about to leave the house, I will print the second edition, which is already updated because this one was printed last year. And you know, if you're in inner circle, the knowledge of last year is almost obsolete already. So it's already updated in e-copy. By the time I will be printing it, it will be different from this. That's when she's 18. That will be second edition. By the time my second daughter, who is now 14, will be turning 18 and going to school, I'll print her copy because the Bible says you should write division. Make it plain so that those that see it may run with it. So it's not enough to just say, don't you know the family you came from? They have to see it. The Bible says you should bind it upon their neck. Write it everywhere so that they will be seeing it. So they will go with it and know that this is what the family stands for. And a lot more has changed. How inner circle has also affected me. It has taught me to honor myself. So I used to be that person who is the one that takes the crumbs, the leftover, and I'm just okay with it. I'll attend to everybody, and then whatever is left over is my own. But in inner circle, I have learned to honor myself. I have learned to also receive honor. So before now, if maybe I'm going and somebody says, let me help you with your bag, I will just say, don't worry, don't worry. But today, you say, okay, should I help you? I will gladly give you the bag and just pop up and follow you. So over the weekend, we were in a program and the usher ushered us into a section. We followed, my husband and I, we went to sit down there. After a while, another usher came and said, we heard that you are ministers, so you're not supposed to sit here. Please come over to this other side. My husband was like, but we can just stay here. Me, I whispered that me, I've learned to accept honor. So please, let's go. So we carried ourselves, went to that place and sat down. Then the host of the program saw us again and said, this is still among the ministers. This is still not the place for you. Please come up here. And I've learned to receive honor. And it is part of what I have learned in the inner circle. Talking about trauma. Okay, so when the course about trauma came up, I just felt I really didn't need that course. I can't remember bitter experiences when I was growing up, even though my husband was a bitter. My husband was that kind of person that, in fact, he actually used cutlass. That's that very light one that students used to use. He used it he was trying to flog my brother and he just put up his hand and he cut him. My husband was, and we just felt it was the way to discipline. Okay, but I was not one of those he used to beat. I was one of his favorites because I was doing well academically. So I didn't see the need to be part of that course. But there was a statement coach made that Everybody needs to go through that course. Must have experienced one form of trauma or the other. And then when it really struck me hard was when he said, if your children cannot hug you, then it's trauma. I was like, wow. And that was me. So my children will want to come around and touch me. I would just be so irritated, want to push them away. My son will want to come and hug. I don't just want it. Always feeling irritated with touches. But I went for that program. I can't even still pinpoint what the trauma was, but I went with an open heart, did all the exercises we were asked to do, and all I can testify is that I don't have those irritating feelings anymore. And it has helped me to be able to parent better, because I have children who their primary love language is touch and they would want to be touched. This is all what I would have deprived them of if I am not in the inner circle. So it is a superior knowledge for me. Now, talking about my marriage. Of course, when I'm a marriage coach, relationship and marriage coach, but the truth about the inner circle is that just like I think it was Coach Ebo that said, a coach without a coach is a cockroach. The truth about the inner circle is that if you come here and you remain the same, your life is not better. Now you do yourself. That means you didn't pass through the process. So yes, my marriage is the type that a number of persons, young people have looked up to, but inner circle has made it a lot better. Now, there is a statement that Coach made when she was taking on us on solving family problems through effective communication. And she said, to be one is better than to be right. I saw that statement again when I was reading the book of the month, 7 Habits. And that statement has just changed me, because it's not like we fight. We don't fight. But I'm the type that always want to put it to you. I want to prove to you that my point is valid. So I want to win the argument. Not knowing that even though my husband is the quiet type that wouldn't complain, those things could be causing cracks in your relationship. So, but with that knowledge, it has improved my communication. There are times I'll just say, what is the fight over? So I will just let go. Still about my marriage, it was the inner circle. I learned about things like learning style. So my husband is the type that if he's going out and you tell him, help me buy, let me say, you tell him, help me buy lighter, he will say, write it down. And it used to piss me off. I was like, this one thing, only one. It's not as if I gave you a list of 5 things to buy. In my mind, though, like, why can't you just remember to buy the lighter? And then he would insist, just write it down. And of a truth, if you don't write it down, you will actually not buy it. Not because he didn't want to buy it, but he will just tell you he forgot. And I just used to I just used to wonder until I came to the inner circle and were taught learning styles. I was like, wow. So this is it. If you put it down, he will tell you that if you put it down, he just needs to see it once. He might not need to go back to that paper, but he sees it once and he's stuck and he remember it. Where else would I have gotten that marriage for all those knowledge? Because for heaven's sake, I joined the inner circle already in my 40s. Where else would I have gotten all the knowledge that's changed my life? Another thing is about my marriage. He also has, it was still in the inner circle, I had about what you call directional dyslexia. I was like, wow. So my husband will be driving in a place that we have a route that we have passed through several times, and he will be asking you, should I turn right or left? The one that used to piss me off the most would be when it's only one turn. It's only one turn, and then he will ask you, should we turn right or left? And I was like, which kind of human being be this in my mind? But with the knowledge I've had here, that, okay, there's something like this. I'm now empathetic. I don't, when he asks, should I turn right or left? I'm able to, in fact, I'll give him, before we get to that junction, I'll tell him we'll soon turn right, so start trafficating. And it has made my marriage to be more peaceful, to be calmer. And then also gratitude. In fact, at a point I had, so it was in the inner circle. No, those little things that we feel do not really matter. And you just feel, but it's just doing what he normally is supposed to do, that kind of stuff, and no gratitude. But in the inner circle, we're not just taught how to give gratitude, but to how to communicate gratitude. So at a point, I had to open a gratitude journal that at the end of the day, I would write down what I'm grateful to him for. I don't do it anymore. Instead of writing it in the journal that he might not see, I'll rather now tell him, this is what you did today that I am grateful for the sacrifices. And all these have made my marriage better, has made it more peaceful, have made it sweeter and calmer. So I don't know if I should take a break at this point, or I should now talk about how the inner circle affected other areas of my life.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Ma, today it's for you. You can go ahead and dish out all this information to us. That's why we are here. We are here to hear your story. We are here to learn from you. We are here to be blessed with your presence, and we are already being blessed. Thank you so much. They say knowledge is power, but inner circle is that knowledge. Inner circle is power. And I don't even know, because now we are moving on. We are moving on. We're exchanging mantle of power. And last year, you can't meet us. The 2026 inner circle is going to be all mixed of power and resolution of transformation. And you're not there yet. You are not even there last year. You are not there previous before now. The knowledge is every day we are transiting, and you can't meet us the same place again. You have seen the curriculum. The next session for 2026 is not going to be the same. It's legacy. We are going to hand them over. See how we are taking this power. See how we are taking up the mountain, and you're still left behind. I don't know what will happen to anybody who is not in the inner circle yet, because we have left you behind. You are far, far behind. And for you to catch up with this breath, I mean, come on. You come in, you wait in the wait list for a whole 1 year before you come and join us. And now we are here. This is the time for you to take up the opportunity, take up the chance, and you're still left behind. Because the fire is already transiting, and you're still far there. You are still being there. You are comfortable. You've joined us here. You have not joined the inner circle yet. I don't know what you're waiting for, because I mean, we've left you. We've left you behind. Ma'am, thank you so much. And if you're just joining us, you're hearing from Mrs. Ufuoma, Dr. Ufuoma, sorry, scratch that. Our amazing, extraordinary Yada, popping on the screen with the transformation. She's sharing the power of transformation she's gotten from the inner circle. And so far, it's been so amazing hearing from you. I mean, the inner circle will transform you literally. It will transform you mentally. It will transform you spiritually. It will transform you emotionally. It will give you everything that you need, the steps you need towards being intentional parenting. Inner circle will prepare you for everything. Inner circle will give you all the transformation necessary for you to become. It will give you see yourself, you gradually start relearning, unlearning, and slowly you keep redesigning everything in your life that God has given you to become what it is you're supposed to be for you and your family. It just reflects towards every aspect of your life. That is inner circle. Inner circle is that place. Inner circle is that place. If you are hearing me and you are a person, you are here, you've tuned in, you can hear me. Inner circle, if you want to become extraordinary being, if you want to become who God said you are, if you want to become the parent that is going to see your children become, and if you see you can't see an extraordinary child without seeing an extraordinary parent. It is inner circle that prepares you for that. It is inner circle is that place. And if you're still out there, this is your nod. This is your opportunity to step in, because I mean, you're still behind. Check it now. You're still behind. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, please, Mrs. Ufuoma, you are also a leader and an entrepreneur, and you are also a coach. You said you have marriage academy. How has the inner circle impacted that aspect of your leadership, your professional journey, and the way you run your organization? How has the inner circle sprinkled the flavor? I know you were getting to that. You said, if I could allow you, this is the space, ma. It is all yours, ma. We are here to hear you. Please, over to you, ma.
Okay, thank you so much. So let me talk first about the Marriage Foundation Academy. Like I said, based on the things I've learned in the inner circle, my curriculum to teach other people now is different. For instance, when I teach couples that are preparing to get married these days, one of the courses they have to learn in understanding their spouses is learning style. So they have to understand the, because it was a minus for me, but it is more like a coaching advantage now for people that get their coaching services through me. So the Inner Circle program has made my curriculum to be more enriched. So it's more like I get knowledge here that also elaborates what I already have to give to people to benefit from. And talk about worksheets. In the Inner Circle, you have worksheets. And in the Inner Circle, I've learned that these worksheets help you to internalize what coach teaches us. It helps you to reflect, deep reflection, and helps you to internalize the teachings. So that is also another aspect I've adopted in my coaching outfit. So I take sessions and then you have reflection questions, you have worksheets, because it's not just about dishing out the knowledge, it has to be internalized and they have to go through. If it has affected so much about my coaching. So currently I'm taking a couple who are meant to be like a son and a daughter to me. And I told them, they used to call me mama. I said, in this particular space, I'm not your mama, I'm your coach. Just like coach said, I'm your VC. You paid me in order to hold you accountable. So to hold you accountable, I will. On Sunday, on the activities for last week, they were supposed to submit it as at Friday. I learned that in Inner Circle. Submit your assignment. And it is for your own good. And then for one reason or the other, they did not submit. I said today's class, Sunday, is not going to hold until you submit your assignment. So it has helped me to put a better perspective to it, and is helping me to influence lives better. Talk about the structures and all that. The Inner Circle has given me a platform to get from in order to be able to also dish out to others. And then I have an eye clinic. I'm a doctor of optometry. So I work with the government, but I have a private practice. Inner Circle has also taught me to charge for my value. Okay, so you can't be in Inner Circle and you will not do better financially. So the other day, I engaged the services of another optometrist to work in my private practice, and he called me and was saying that a patient came and was complaining about the consultation fee, the registration and consultation fee. And I was like, what's the complaint about? All patients have been paying it. They will come, they might complain. Some will go and still come back. In fact, I would beg them sometimes, since you say you can get it cheaper somewhere, why not you go there? Because as the time I came to the Inner Circle, I was that kind of person that had this mentality of freely have you received, so freely give, as if my school fees was free. And then Coach Wendy will always say that salvation is free, but it was paid for. So I learned to understand that I can place value on myself and charge for myself. So I was asking that my colleague, but okay, so what? So he was saying what his point was that other clinics around do not charge that high. I was like, wow, mention the names of the clinics. He mentioned this one, doesn't charge that high. Mention this one. So I said to myself, wow, Inner Circle has really changed me. So I had the audacity to be able to charge above what a number of clinics. While he was even talking with me, another colleague was there that had worked in another private clinic. And I asked her, what's the consultation fee in this place? And it was still lower than mine. And I was like, wow. So Inner Circle makes you to be able to know what your worth is. We're not saying, okay, go and charge for what you don't know. By God's grace, I've gotten to the peak of my perfection as a fellow of the Nigeria College of Optometry, and it's not free. So I'm able to put a price, and then we go back, they will still come back and testify. I won't forget to also mention that it's in the Inner Circle, I started a side business. So there's a small section in my clinic where I sell books and puzzles, all inspired by the Inner Circle. All in the process of trying to get books and puzzles for my children, I said, okay, but I can actually get more and sell to other parents. And get who is my major market is still Yadas, Enugu Yadas, shout out to you. So I get orders from Enugu Yadas, those from Oka, we order for books, those from Abakaliki, order from puzzles and all that. All that is part of the benefits I have gotten in the Inner Circle. Now I want to talk about the influence that Inner Circle has had on my parenting, specifically for each child. My eldest is currently 16. So as at the time I joined the Inner Circle, before I joined the Inner Circle, she had committed an offense in school. They called me up, and that when I tried to be calm in school. By the time I came back home, I beat the hell out of this girl. Like, you don't know your parents are ministers. Like, you don't know who the child of whom you are, that kind of stuff. I beat her terribly. And over time, I got this inspiration that I should love her out of that habit, that attitude. But more like I really didn't know how. So I came to the inner circle. Even before the inner circle, she also had another experience some years later in school. She was bullied. Bullied in a school where her father is a teacher. So her father is a teacher in that school, in the same secondary school. In fact, he teaches senior secondary. She was in junior secondary. She was being bullied not just by a classmate who is a male, but a female classmate that would just tell her, shut up, she will shut up. Don't go out for break. Don't come out of this space. She will remain there. You are stupid. You are mad. You are a witch. She will agree. So all her confidence was bullied out of her. By the time we got to know it, it was so bad. She would even flog her in class. A female classmate, not a senior student. So our condition became so bad, we had to pull her out of that school. And because I didn't have knowledge, I pulled her out and put her in a boarding school. And the same thing repeated there. In that boarding school, it was not even just students that were bullying her anymore. Even somebody that was meant to be a leader, the chapel priest and all that, had issues and was spreading some kind of information about her. So all her confidence was gone. Now I came into the inner circle. It made her she was the kind of person I didn't just have access to. Like, if I want to talk to her, she would just tell you off. Everybody can be maybe in the sitting room. She would prefer to just be on her own. She became violent to her younger ones and all that. Her condition was so terrible. But then I did not know exactly how to help her out of it. But it was in that circle we learned about connecting to correct. Because sometimes she'll come up with those attitudes. Me, I will also go follow her with the gbas. If you want to stay now, you go now. If you think that is what is best for you. But inner circle taught us to connect, to correct. I had to make out just 10 minutes every day to try to connect with her. Initially, she was not receptive at all. Okay, come and give me a hug. Hey, what is the matter? Nothing. She was just so blunt. You touch her, she would just leave me alone, that kind of stuff. But I just decided to be investing 10 minutes every evening. So when all others, because she will always be the last to come upstairs, she would prefer to just stay down. So when others have gone, I will just take out 10 minutes. How was your day? She will not say anything. How was your day? Fine. I will just try to say some things. Okay, I want to go now. Can you hug me? She will not say anything. Okay, I will extend the hug. She won't even receive it. But I kept at it little by little. If I tell you that today, currently she's done with secondary school and she's on her gap year. Inner circle is what also taught me about gap year. Students should not go to school till they are 18. And I started instilling it in them. So now she is in her gap year. She learned tailoring after her JSS 3. I said, okay, go and do an upgrade course. So then she's the one that will come and tell me everything they learned at the end of the day. For the little one, I would say, tell me how your day went. This one, she will come, bring the cloth they made, tell me, okay, today, this week is lace week at my place of training. This week is Ankara week, and we are learning how to do hip padding and all that. She will come and show me how they do it. So see the padding I was telling you about. This is somebody that before, she didn't allow me to touch her. Last night, I was sitting down there. She came to rest her head on my lap. So we have connected and have her confidence level has increased. So when she was in SS2, this is somebody that she used to, from connection, I got to understand she was so bothered about her height. She felt that she was not tall. Her immediate younger is way taller than her. That one is even taller than me. So it was a concern. I had to start talking to her, showing her people that are making impacts that are not so tall and all that. I was surprised when they were in SS2 when they said they were going for beauty pageants and my daughter registered. She said she was going for beauty pageants. I was like, wow. So the confidence level has grown to this extent. My own was not whether she becomes the beauty pageant. The fact that she had the boldness and the confidence to come out, she had won as far as I was concerned. I gave her all the support she needed. At the end, she didn't make it. But I was happy. I felt fulfilled that at least she came out. And then the fact that she didn't make it didn't make her not to attempt another opportunity. So again, she said she was coming out to be a leader. That's when they were coming vying for electoral offices. I said, wow, the van wants to come out for elections. Wow, this person that didn't have confidence, that was bullied and all that. So she came out. She still did not succeed. But my confidence and I felt that it is working for her to, even the failure is not making her not to try again. It is in inner circle we celebrate failure, that we are taught that failure is a tool that you learn from. Do you understand? So it gave me more perspective. And then the one that was so amazing was when there was another competition. This one was a Bible quiz competition. And she said she was going to go for it. I was like, wow. So they were to read a section of the Bible and she went for the quiz. The first day they went for the quiz, that's the first round, at the end of each phase, they will announce those that made it, or they will announce the scores. By the time they announced at one particular phase, they announced the scores. She said, she came to me and said, that is not her score, that she couldn't have scored that low. I was like, wow, what are we going to do? So I called the person that coached her for that program. That one went to go and tell the team. They said they would look into it. They were already in another phase. She wasn't comfortable. She came back and said, that is not her score. She knows what she wrote, and that cannot be her score. So at a point, Anna said, okay, why not you approach the team yourself? She went to the panel and told them. And she was trying to explain to them that she didn't write on only one sheet. There are 2 sheets of answers that she wrote. So her score cannot be that. And she went to meet them. They still just brushed it aside and said they've seen all that she wrote. And you know, at the end of that day, they announced the winners for that day, those that qualified to go to the next phase, which would be 2 weeks after that. My dear, after the announcement, my daughter got up and said she wants to see her scripts. I was like, wow. This same person that her classmates did not allow to say pin in the class has the confidence to confront a panel. She got up and requested for her scripts. In my mind, even if she ended up failing, that confidence enough is a win-win-win for me. So she got up and she met them. Do you know, they brought out the scripts. Lo and behold, they were actually wrong. And result had been announced. People had gone home. Her name was not there, but she showed up in the next phase because she was able to speak up. And she actually, by the time they calculated everything, she actually made it to the next level. So Inner Circle had given me the tools to be able to make her the better version of herself. And today this year she released a single, that's a song, and she's doing well. It was also in the Inner Circle. Talk about influence. Parenting is not about control, it's about influence. It's the Inner Circle, like I said. When I started getting lessons from the Inner Circle, I started letting them know that 18 years, so you have to be 18. Because for her, she didn't do primary 5. Her immediate younger too did not do primary 5. So, primary 6. So I knew she would be like 16. So I've been telling her they have to get to age 18 before they go to school. And I've been letting them know the reasons, just as we learn in the Inner Circle. So fast forward to this year, she wrote her WAEC. She was the best graduating in sciences. And then she wrote JAMB too. The idea was, let her just experience JAMB. But then my husband, on the other hand, doesn't buy that perspective. He's not in the inner circle. So it's like, I beg, she should go to school. He will always just say it. So when it was getting closer to admission seasons and all that, because I would talk with her privately, he would come up with something else. So I had to call him and said, for so and so reasons, she should see areas we still need to work on in her life. We need to still really prepare her for the university. He also brought his own perspective and said, if she stays at home and writes jam from home, what if she doesn't make it? So I told him that the structure is already in place. It's not as if she will stay at home and read from home. Of course, she'll be going for a sewing school, but then when that time comes, she will also attend jam lessons and be able to prepare for the jam properly. And my husband said, okay, she is the one that will decide. My husband went to go and call her, that whatever she says is what we stand. At that point, I felt I had lost the battle because who will not love to go to school? Your father is standing by you and saying, if you agree. Now, her classmates are already telling her they are processing their admission and all that. In my mind, I already lost the battle. I just felt she will say yes, she wants to go to school, and that will be all. Lo and behold, though, they called this girl. My husband called her to our room and said, okay, this is what your mother said. This is my perspective. And my own is, what do you say? Whatever you say is what will be. My daughter said she will stay at home. She will do the gap here. Wow, I was like, this is influence. It was not an issue of, okay, I won, do you understand? But I was able to look at it that means I've been able to influence her over the years. And that was it for me. So my eldest girl is now in fact, she told me to wear this today. So we are connecting so well, courtesy of the inner circle. Now, about my second daughter, who is now 14, inner circle, I heard like I talked about learning styles. She's the type you will give an instruction when you come back and the thing is not done. And she will give you an impression that when did you give that instruction? I will be like, is it that this girl does not understand when you pass information? But from the knowledge in the inner circle, Coach told us about her foster daughter, how she used to write instructions out for her after she understood her love language and her learning style. So that's what I began to do. So is either I write it for you or you get a pen and paper. If I'm giving the instruction, I write it. But of course, the inner circle has also taught us that you also should teach them. That doesn't mean, of course, they will enter into spaces that they might not be privileged to be taught in that learning style. So you have to expose them to other learning styles. So sometimes I will say, okay, you repeat to me what instructions I've given to you. And she's able to do that. So a lot. Inner circle also brought perspective to the issue of what is it called now? Sanguine. That I got to understand that she's a sanguine. She's just everywhere. She's not focused. Today, she's the person in the house that will just sit down. Only her. We build 1,000 pieces puzzles because in the inner circle, I got to understand the things that will give her focus. Puzzles. In the inner circle, I also learned that knitting would help. So she learned how to knit, how to make beads, and she's doing so well. She is a girl with sense, actually, because of the teachings that she has gone through in the inner circle. She came from school one day and told me that, okay, a classmate came with a book to school, women, every woman, and they were looking at the pictures. And then she was not part of it because she knows that this will corrupt her. There was a video that was, a link that was sent on Mastermind platform because I took that course earlier this year. And then they said we should, it was one of the Mastermind women that made that produced that video. So I just felt, okay, one of those Sundays movies, let's watch the video. And we started watching and she said, Mommy, I've seen the trailer for this video. It is not for children. This video is not for children. So she knows her boundaries. She knows where to stop, where to start. She told me a particular school that she was not going to go to that school because they carry phones to school. They are not serious. They use video. They do TikTok videos in school. So she cannot go to that school. Talking about sibling rivalry too. So there was a time she was not seeing her immediate younger brother eye to eye. Like If she's saying something and the brother contributes, she will get so upset and like, was I talking to you? The brother will not even land. Before we just say, was I talking to you? Who asked you to comment? And having read sibling rivalry, taking the courses, I knew that if this is not handled now, initially I would just like, but why do you hate your brother that much? That kind of stuff. But also in inner circle, discipline is not an emergency and is not for the public space. So one of those days, I decided to call her and talk to her privately about it. It was just once I talked to, even though because of structures, there are also in our curriculum teachings we take around such things and bonding and family. Do you know when the brother was to launch his book, she did, because she draws, she did most of the illustrations for that book. In my mind, I was like, okay, after all, I paid her for it, so it's not really that. But on the graduation day, or the day my son was to launch his book on his graduation from primary 6, this girl, I looked through the window, saw her from the window combing the brother's hair, rubbing a cream on the hair and combing it. I was like, what am I seeing? Is this Delight and Daniel like allowing her hands to touch him? Because even sometimes when we say let's hold our hands together for prayer, she will leave that spot and come somewhere else. He will not agree to hold the brother. I was like, wow. And I took it seriously because of the stories that were told in that book, Sibling Rivalry, families and companies that have been torn apart because of little things like this that were not handled when they were small. But today, two of them are in boarding school. The girl is in SS1, the boy is in JS1. And when they were going, in my mind, I was like, hey, would these people even see eye to eye in school? Until the day I went to pick her from school, she needed to come home. And on the way, she was just like, hey, I'm feeling for Daniel. So he will not see me for how many days? In my mind, wahoo. So you care for Daniel so much. And she was not like, I even had to give him my remaining provisions before coming. Hey, and now went for that to tell me that one of her friends had promised to be checking on Daniel every day till she comes back. I say, ha. These ones that used to be like cat and dog are now living so closely in school. The one that touched me so much was when they were sending lists for their visiting day, the things we were to buy. So my son sent a list through the person, the caretaker, and then he listed all the things he wanted. My daughter sent a list. I was amazed. Everything she wrote, she would say toothpaste for Daniel and I. I was like, really? So quantity of milk for Daniel and I. She didn't write for herself. Belt for Daniel. He said his belt is spoiled. So and so thing for Daniel. So I was so marveled. And it is only the inner circle that could have done this. So there's more peace in the home, more teamwork, more living together because we intentionally have family times. A lot that we have learned. In fact, the time has gone so far. Let me quickly rush to my son, who is my third child and my only son. That one, anger. He's the type that if you just upset him, before he will say anything, he has already slapped. He was dealing so much with his younger brother, with the younger sister. But inner circle, emotional intelligence, if you cannot name it, you cannot tame it. I started taking them through emotions, vocabulary, he's the one that understands emotions, vocabulary. At a point, I got a calendar of emotions where each day you flip it, you see an emotion and the definition of that emotion and the expression. So he is the one that understands those emotions more. He's able to tell her, mommy is not happy. Mommy, why are you not happy? And then when we now learned about the grounding rule, I taught them the grounding rule. So if you are upset, think about 5 things you can feel. All I learned in the inner circle. 5 things you can touch, 4 things you can. He internalized it. So one of those days he came from school and told me, mommy, that grounding rule did not work. I was like, what do you mean? So he said one of the classmates was talking to him, telling him to do something and was hitting him. And the classmate kept on hitting him consistently. As the classmate was hitting him, he was doing the grounding rule in his mind. He was counting 5 things, counting 4 things, and he finished counting all the things. And the boy was still hitting him and he was upset. So he got up and slapped him back. Because I was not paying attention. But who at 11, he already knows what is grounding rule, parenting advantage. Yet he got up and hit. And my response to him was also not good because I was like, but you shouldn't have hit now. You should have gone to report to your teacher. This is somebody who was vulnerable and came to me. He already knew that he missed it. Do you understand? Instead of me to just acknowledge. Later that evening, I saw that what I did was wrong. I had to send a message to my Yarders platform. Shout out to all the Yard people in Enugu. There's another mini group called the Yard people in Enugu. I was like, I've messed up. See what my son told me. See how I reacted. And they advised me. So the following day, I had to call him up. Hey, what was it again? Because I wasn't paying attention. And I was able to validate his feelings and all that. And my own is not whether he slapped back. My own is that he knew that there's something like grounding rule that can calm him down. And I know with practice, there was a day we were driving and somebody was coming from a bend. The person didn't horn. The next thing we were almost colliding. I was so scared. I navigated my way off the front of that man. It was that man that was wrong, that was shouting. And what I just told the man was something like, thank you very much. And my children were surprised that, mommy, he's the one that was wrong. And he's the one insulting you. And all you can say is, thank you. I said, my coach said, kings do not rub themselves in the mud. So it's very possible there's something wrong with that man. Coach one day will say, I'll have empathy for them. They are going through a lot. They don't even know what to do. So that one made my son to like, he was even saying that, can I take the emotional intelligence teachings in the inner circle? I said, there is one. Start with the book that your elder sister is reading. So today, he's more emotionally intelligent. When there's conflict between him and the younger sister, most often he's the one that would go for peace and decide, okay, there's no fight. So another thing is that he had an issue. He did something wrong in school and they called me up. And in fact, I asked the school, so what's the consequence? If it was before, I would carry his shame. Hey, me. The school had already invited me before that to speak to them on parenting. So me, that is a guest that was invited as a guest, your child did. But we have been taught in the inner circle, let everybody carry their shame. So it was even me that asked the proprietress, who coincidentally was my friend even before she started the school. So I could have even influenced her not to come up with such disciplinary actions. But I just told her, what is the disciplinary action for something like this in your school? Because we don't bail out our sons. So she now said, currently she has booked her slots to come into level 1 by the next cohort, by 2026 cohort. So she said, nothing like this has happened before. So they don't really have something in structure. I said, okay, discuss with your management and let me know what the disciplinary action is. And they did and said he was to be suspended for, I think, a week. I said, fine, let him go and learn his lessons. So I was with him through that period, taking him through. So what do you have to learn from this? What would you do better next time? I informed also his coach, Coach Ebuka. That's why the inner circle is so complete. Coach Ebuka also talked to him and all that, and he got back. Do you know that on his graduation day, this same proprietress came up before the crowd? In fact, his book launch was part of the graduation program, like listed as part of his graduation program. It was after that incident he came back, and then he had another issue and they took him to the proprietor's office. He came back from school and told me that, mommy, I thought I would be suspended again. But see what happened. So he wrote some things, scrabbled some things on pieces of paper, and the classmates took it. He's writing about crush. See what Daniel is writing. And they took it to the proprietor's office. So the proprietor said she went through the pieces of paper and went like, is it Daniel that really wrote these things? So they felt, yes, he's the one that wrote it. There are some of them that even threw across the fence. We can go and bring them. The proprietress told me that he was seeing an author He wasn't just seeing a child that was scribbling things. So he told him, why not you put this together into a diary, like diary of the 6th grader, that I will support you for that book to be produced. So my son came back home and said, what I thought would have been another suspension. See, Mama T said I should write a book, and I so supported it. Even though writing already is in the family, the father is an author, I'm an author, the elder sister authored 2 books at 10. But this one was exceptional because in the inner circle, you do things intentionally. I paid particular attention because it had to do with journaling. The book was to be titled The Diary of the Curious Kid. So he was doing his day-to-day journaling, which I know is very necessary for the boy child to be able to also help with his emotions. So I encouraged him all the way. He would journal what happened at home, what happened in church, what happened in school, everything. And finally, on the graduation day, the proprietress came out to announce that this boy was once suspended. Today, he's coming out with a book. And that was so amazing. All this wouldn't have been possible without the inner circle. And lastly, about the last child, sorry for the time, I will summarize. The last one is more like, just like Coach Wendy will say, that there is window of opportunity. So it's actually easier if your children are smaller. For those that are feeling they are too young to join the inner circle, that's the best time, because I'm enjoying them more, because it's more like the things we teach, they just absorb them. She's currently 9. During the holiday, she was the one that drew her holiday planner by herself. I did it for them sometime the other holiday, printed out the planners that we got from the inner circle. But this time she wrote it by herself. From 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., this is what I would do. From so and so, this is what I would do. And she brought the book to me. Every day she would tick it. I've done this, I've done this. I'm not having to follow her. I don't ask her, have you done your assignments? As she comes, she goes to get water, she takes her bath, carries her homework, and she has her week in the kitchen. She was telling me how her teachers were surprised when she told them that she was the one that cooked the food she brought to school sometime at the ending of last term. And the teacher came to ask me, like, she prepares food. I say, yes, that is what inner circle has taught us. It's not like she's perfect at it, but we are growing. So she's the one that absorbed so much of the teaching without having to repeat. There was a time last year I bought a bag for her, and she came back and told me, Mommy, thank you for the bag. I love it. It means so much to me. I can never stop thanking you. I was like, wow. Because I taught them what I was taught in inner circle, how to communicate gratitude. 4 sentences on top of 1 bag. So she takes the teachings, and then her learning style, because I also understood, I got my healing, her love language is touch. In those days, she will come, she wants you to touch her. But because of I will just put her off. But because of the knowledge I've gotten in inner circle, I'm able to feel her love tongue. I'm able to speak her love language, and we are connecting. There was this day, she came from school and told me, Mommy, can I tell you something? Also in the inner circle. Because before now, I would say I'm busy. Of a truth, I'm busy. But I just left whatever I was doing and decided to give her attention. I wanted to take her to a particular place. I felt she needed, from her expression, she just needed privacy. So I took her to the car. As she got to the car, she just broke down and started crying. It was after crying, she was able to tell me what she did that was wrong. And I just encouraged her. At least she knew that what she did was wrong. That was why she came to me. And I encouraged her and I prayed with her. Do you know, after that, after a long while, pillow talk in the inner circle. So we're asked to do pillow talk. So I asked her a question. Is there any challenge she was having? I think that was the question we're asked to ask. Any challenge you are having? And she said there's a challenge. I was like, okay, well, so what is it? Tell me about it. And she told me that there's one of her classmates. She was in primary 3 then. She's not in primary 5. She now told me that one of her classmates that saw her doing that thing she told me about told her that he would report to the principal, the head teacher, what she did. So for him not to report her, He has to be copying notes for him. Imagine, primary 3. So my daughter will copy her own notes, copy the boy's notes, so that the boy doesn't let the cat out of the bag, or doesn't go. So she just broke down again. I was like, this is what she's passing through. I was like, wow, this level of bullying. But how could I have been able to access her heart if not for that pillow talk? And then we were able to talk about, okay, so how do we go about it? She was like, she doesn't even mind. Now she wants to go and tell the proprietress by herself. She's tired of copying notes for the boy. I said, good. And then the case was handled. So inner circle, if you are still there and you are still thinking, why should I join the inner circle? If you want to have peace in life, if you want to have better parenting tools, if in fact, if you want your home to be better, please join the ark before it closes. Let me stop.
Thank you so much. That was so powerful. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And for some people that used to say, is inner circle, the Intentional Parents Academy, just to go and learn how to parent my children? Is it all that? Yes, it is. It is all that. Inner circle is everything. Inner circle is all there is to your life. Inner circle is your life. Inner circle, you are going to buy cane. You are keeping koboko to come and wipe your children, to come and chase your children up and down. When you should have learned from the place of doing it with peace. Inner circle is the place you get knowledge from, and you do it. You've been able to hear Mrs. Ufuoma. She's been able to table down in practical terms how she was doing it when there was no knowledge, and how she have been able to put action when there is knowledge. The knowledge she has gotten, she said, through the inner circle, I've been able to achieve this, that. The result is so evident. Have you not seen it? That inner circle will give you all there is for you and your children. She said, if you want your home to be in peace, if you want to raise your children the way it should be, if you want to do it as an assignment and as a calling, inner circle is that place for you. And you're still out there, you still need us to convince you. There is a lot that we cannot come here to talk about. It is so much. It is beyond coming to sit down and table out. Inner circle, the results are too much. You can't be in the inner circle and your life will remain the same. No way. You can't be in the inner circle. Let's even say you are not the person that you've not learned to start journaling and start implementing. Listening, reading through the community, hearing will change your life drastically. Your life will just become, it will just take a new turn. This growth can never stand in one area of your life. Here is something very powerful. The growth in the inner circle does not stand in one area of your life. It just touches every aspect of your life. It's not isolated. The growth you get from inner circle is not isolated. It's not based on how you tell your children, what to do and what not to do, how to save your children from being bullied. It touches every aspect of your life. Yes, ma, I can relate. When you said your daughter, when she was being bullied, I can relate because I was once there. I have felt how it was when I was in school and how I was being bullied. But my parents didn't know. None of them knew. I found inner circle. Inner circle saved me. My parents didn't find it. I found it myself, and it has saved me. And you're there, you're parenting your children, you're creating injury, so much deep wound for these children, and they are moving like that. They are moving on from you, they are moving on from the environment, wounded, and they are going to parent like that, and they are going to become the person you've molded them to be. My parents didn't know that I was going through so much pain when I was in school. They didn't know because they did not have the knowledge. Because all they knew was what they were taught or what they learned or what they saw. But there is a place to get knowledge and do it the right way. There is a place to get to grow and model influence peacefully. Below top, there is so much tools. There is so much tools, so much that you can get. And in life, you see your children, everything just take a new turn. You parent from a place of peace. You're not fighting, your children are not fighting, they are not fighting you. You see your children subconsciously, they just start becoming what it is. You are afraid that your daughter is going to say, no, I'm going to decide this. But you see that the influence, you see, it sticks. It's showing, the results are showing. When you're putting it, you're implementing, if you're putting the work, it is showing. Even if it's small, you see it reflect. It is there, it is going to show. It will definitely speak. Thank you so much, ma. I want to know, Mrs. Ufuoma, You've joined the Inner Circle webinars and you read Coach Wendy books. I mean, we have a whole full of library in the Inner Circle program. The Inner Circle is packed with so much life-changing webinars and resources. Which of the three webinars and three top books have influenced the way you parent most? And how have the books and the webinars shaped your parenting and your leadership journey in a home? Over to you, ma.
Thank you so much. So my first book would be Connect to Correct. In fact, it is that book that have given me the foundation for my connecting with my children, connecting with my spouse, and the process I've gone through. I wouldn't have been able to achieve them without that book, Connect to Correct. So that's the first on my list. The second one is Discipline That Works. So I used to think that discipline is using Koboko and using big is structure. So So I was told that discipline is structure. I thought that discipline is what you do after a child misbehaves. And I was told that discipline is what you do to prevent a child from misbehaving even in the first place. I thought that discipline is what you must do, na na na, like those of us from Warri, it has to be na na na. So as the child is doing it, you must correct the child now, no matter what the space where you are. But discipline that works taught me that discipline is a private affair. That's how I'm able to call my daughter and say, okay, what and what is responsible for this attitude you are putting up. So that is my second book. And then my third book would be solving family problems through effective communication, even though it was all first a webinar before that. So it has helped me to also create a structure and a culture of communication in the home, helped with my relationship with my children, helped with every other relationship I've had. So over the weekend, I had an issue in the association that I lead, the Optometric Association in Enugu. And then because of the lessons from that book, we were able to bring all that to a calm. Now, talking about the webinars, the first one would be the emotional intelligence. That was a foundational one for me. Like I said at the beginning, it gave me self-awareness. I was able to understand who I am, what are my triggers, the emotions, vocabulary. So when something happens, I'm able to know this is the emotion. And I'm able to also trace it to, okay, what is actually the origin? Because it might be showing up this way, but there's actually a root to it. And it has also helped me to be able to put my emotions in check and also model it to my children. And it has helped them to also put their own emotions in check. The second book would be webinar would be Transcending Families, moving from transactional to transformational, not ending there, but to transactional family. And then the last one would be legacy, raising kings, those that sit on the table with kings and those that make kings. It has given me a better perspective to be intentional about giving my children platforms, about what I'm to hand over to them, that I am the legacy. They are not my legacy. So I'm able to be conscious of what I am handing over to them. Also the platforms, the relationships, and what I am going to hand over to them. So they are not going to start from the place I'm starting. Me getting to know about emotional intelligence in my 40s, they're already getting to know about it as children. So they can, when a coach says that, I know with exactitude where they are going to end. I'm so sure that as this process is being followed, I'm so definite that their future will be bright and we will all fulfill prophecy as a family, because families are meant to fulfill prophecy.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. It's incredible how the Inner Circle webinars and the books we read in the Inner Circle becomes the compass for our next step. I mean, it is that place where you get the rewiring from, the rewiring to your thinking, that approach, and the ability to lead with everything that it is you need to lead with love as a parent is the Inner Circle webinars and book. And if you're not reading any of these books, you're doing yourself a disservice because who can't, why can you not sit down and go through these books? These books is a whole life transformation on its own. It just gives you that rewiring on your own silent time. Just go through these books and you see your life drastically change. Thank you so much, Bob. I would like to know, ma'am, there's a parent who is watching us today and they have not joined the Inner Circle yet. They are not in the Inner Circle. Of course, we've already mentioned they are left behind. They know they have not joined the Inner Circle yet, and maybe they are waiting for the right time. That's how a lot of people used to say it. When you ask them, they say, maybe it's actually it, oh, but it's amazing, oh, but maybe not now. I will join. I will join. So they are still thinking it's not the right time, or maybe they are still wondering, is it really worth it? Ma'am, please, I would want you to speak to this set of people. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, so like most the books on this platform have always said, the best time you should have joined would have been yesterday. Inner circle is a complete circle. And for those that have younger children, from my experience and from the experiences of others and from what we have been taught about the windows of opportunity, the earlier the better. So I had more struggles with the elder ones when I joined the inner circle. But thank God, coach already also told us in the teenage years, the window of opportunity opens up again. And me, I had to grab it. So instead of fighting with them, I had to start learning how to connect. So inner circle is a complete whatever you are looking for. So it's not just parenting. If it has to do with issues about marriage, they here. How to raise a strong-willed child, they here. How to raise the boy child, you see it here. How to raise the girl child. You see how to deal with how to prevent drug abuse and all that. All of them, they just type they in the comment section. Everything you are looking for is how to deal with the children, the girl, all of them are here. So it's a complete circle. And then another thing I would say, the scripture came to my mind when I was preparing this session after I had enrolled to take this session. In First Kings chapter 19, God about Elijah when the angel had to wake him up when he was running away. And the angel told him, "Arise, eat and drink, for the journey is far." So the journey of parenting is very far, and it will weary you if there is no source that you are drinking from. An inner circle is that system that God has put up in this end time for you to drink from so that you don't faint. Because the Bible also tells us that if you faint in the days of adversity, your strength is small. So inner circle is that place where you are going to draw strength from so that you will drink to be able to cope. We know by the time he got up, he ate and he drank, he slept back. The angel woke him up again and said, "Get up. The journey is very far. Wake up, eat and drink, for the journey is far." And he woke up and ate and drank, and with the strength of that, he was able to go a distance. So this is telling you, if you are not yet in the yard, that is that first wake-up call. Wake up from your slumber because you are sleeping, so that slumber will not turn to death. Wake up, drink from this well of life. Eat because the journey is far. And for those of us that are already here, so you have eaten round one, you've drunk some, and then you are feeling that it's now time to relax. I'm already in the yard. So Elijah ate the first round, drank, and he decided to now relax. He was still woken up. So it's a wake-up call both to myself and to every other person already in the yard. The journey never finish. Eat and drink. Continue eating and drinking. The journey is far. So if you have not booked your slot, it's a time to say, do that very quickly, because like Coach Ebuka said, in fact, the flood is already here. It's no more that is on the way coming. The flood is already here.
Wake up, the journey is very far. And Mrs. Ufuoma said, the inner circle is a complete circle. Is in the inner circle you will get to be that global brand. How to multiply money, how to make money, how to add money. It is the inner circle. How to become who God have destined you to be. It is the inner circle. How to raise your boy child is in the inner circle. Your girl child in the inner circle. How to become, how to earn your voice, how to become a confident person is in the inner circle. It's complete. It's a complete package. Growth rarely feel confidence. A lot of people say, I don't think it's the right time. I don't think it doesn't. But it will meet you halfway once you take the first step. Just get that up. Just obey. Stick to obedience. Book your slot. Join now because this is I don't know what people prioritize in their life. For me, I would say this is that thing. This is the very first call you should prioritize in your life. There's a lot of things you can spend money for, but this is the value that you should pay that money for. This is the value you should spend that money for. This is the first call. This is make it, I don't know, for people, for me, I've always make it a conscious effort to tell everybody around me about the inner circle. Make it a conscious effort. Do that. Tell people about the inner circle. Tell them how important it is for them to make it their first call of point. Register the inner circle, book your slot, join the inner circle, be in the 2026 cohort. Don't be left out. If you're left out, your life is left out. Run, jump in like your life depends on it because it does. Inner circle is the calling for you. Ma, please, before we let you go, what will be your final word to every parent and leaders watching us today about the Intentional Parent Inner Circle program? What would you call the Inner Circle program? Ma'am, over to you.
Okay, I already said the complete circle. There's no part of the circle that's been chopped off by somebody eating a donut. It's still very complete. So find your way here so that your life will be complete. Because there are missing parts already if you are not here. It is a movement, it is a mandate. It is what God has tried to bless this generation with. And if you are out there, you are the one missing out. So come right in.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ufuoma. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your heart with us today. Your journey has speaks to us. It has showed us that intentional parenting isn't a destination. It is a daily surrender to grow. It is a conscious effort, even when it's uncomfortable. Thank you so much, ma. We truly celebrate you've done so well today. You've done so much. Your journey has been so evident. It has directly speak to each and every one of us. We deeply appreciate you for your time and openness. We'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you once again and do have an amazing day. Bye. See you again soon.
Yeah.
To every parent who is watching us here, remember this. Purpose doesn't thrive in perfection. It doesn't. It thrives in process. It is a process. You go through the journey and patiently go through the process. It is in the process that the awakening becomes. Every time you choose to be intentional, heaven records it. Heaven records your effort, and your children will reap that fruit because you have decided. It is in your heart. Before they say, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Before you decide and say, I will be here, it have already been, it is assured you've decided in your heart. Heaven have recorded it for you, of course. And every time you do that, you come in. There is no way you will be here and your life will remain the same because growth is not sacred. It is that it is done as partnership with God. You decide, you say, God, I am ready, and you come in. It is recorded for you. It is that daily surrender to grow, even when it's uncomfortable, because it is in the discomfort that transformations happen. Where God stretches you, when your patience, you are deepened with understanding and refined, your heart is being refined, you are refined. That is the inner circle. That is the place you were meant to be. This is the place you are supposed to be. Parents, please. Parenting is not about getting it all right. It is about allowing God walk through you. One moment, one conversation, every correction, just small step by step with your children. It is that these little apologies you make, because when you come into the inner circle and you see that, oh, I've actually been doing it from the wrong way, and you start trying to amend your way. If it's worth giving an apology, give it. It is in the little, little things. And you see your life, everything just becomes to falling in place because you have decided, and God is in control because you're doing it as a partnership with God. That's how we do it here with holistic approach. That's how we do it in the inner circle. And you can't tell me you will come here and you are so the same. So parents, make hay while the sun shines. Take the advantage of this moment. Take the advantage of this opportunity. Grow through the inner circle program. Call your friends and your family. Let them be in this circle. Let them be in this circle. Take advantage of this offer. Just in 10 days, the inner circle fee will increase again. Of course, it will increase again. Whether you're single, you're a single mom, you're a single dad, or you are married, or you are even a coach, or you are even a leader, the inner circle is your place. There is space. There is always space for you to grow in the inner circle. Jump in, please. Register for the inner circle program. For single slots, you can register now at 140,000, and for couple slots, you can join now at 220,000. Of course, for just 10 days, you can take this advantage of this offer. For just 10 days. After 10 days, the inner circle fee is going to increase. So join now, make your hay while the sun shines. Join now, take advantage of this offer. Call your friends and your family, even if you are in the inner circle. Do what it is that is right. Tell the truth, live in truth. The truth is spreading the news about the inner circle. Yes, it is. And yes, don't forget that the 6-in-1 parenting bundle is still available at pre-order price. Get your books at pre-order price. If you are not able to pick all of them, you can get single. You can get them singly. Yes, you can. Pick as far as you can and tell your friends, get them this book. This is a full life transformation book that every parent needs. Even if it is that is you that need to start all over again, you need a fresh start, or you need to pause, or you need to do it from every aspect you're looking for. The 6-in-1 parenting bundle, it is for you. And until next time on my intentional parenting journey, keep leading with joy, keep learning with humility, keep living on intentionality. Do that and remain blessed. And thank you for joining me today. See you soon on my intentional parenting space. Of course. Bye.
Common phrases in the inner circle. Let's go.
You're coming for an inner circle webinar and you're not with your yellow blanket with red trimmings. Is that even a joke?
Oh, I'm running and I'm not looking back because 10,000 lions are chasing me. I have watched all the webinars, but today, Coach came with a bazooka.
Even with my humility agbada, I still collected.
If you're not in the ark, you better enter now because flood na bia o.
In the inner circle, we dey walk and they show.
CIP police is coming for you. There is no need harness here.
You definitely cannot relate because you are not in the yard.
If you are not in the yard,
why not?